Serbia might have this spirit of, you gotta push through. This is your current mountain, you have to climb it, and this is what it is.
Meet Anne. She is French and she has lived in India, Argentina and Cambodia, and now she has chosen Serbia as her home. Together with her husband, she runs a music studio in Novi Sad and works in marketing. She shared why she finds Serbs more friendly and welcoming than the French, whether rakia is the answer to everything, and if Serbian food is something that a French person can actually handle. Enjoy!
Serbia has been very welcoming and very helpful. And I remember at some point we sat on a bench in the center of Novi Sad. My husband, Jim, just fell asleep like he was exhausted. 4 or 5 people stopped to ask us if we needed help. And I was almost moved to the tears, like, no, we're fine. Like, this is what it is. Like, we're just in between appointments. Like, they're ready to help just foreigners, because clearly, well, I don't really look like a foreigner, so people talk to me in Serbian, but my husband's black, so it's obvious. But yeah, there's this welcoming spirit that you wouldn't have found in Paris, for example. In France, most people would just have been looking at you and pass their way and walk away. When we came here, my husband had a stroke like 2 days after we got here.
So you had to deal with public health care here in Serbia from
Yes.
the first days.
Oh yeah.
What was your impressions?
Very good impression, I would say, knowing that that was April 2021, so they were still having restrictions. They sent us to the public hospital. It was, I would say, rather fluid, and we were mostly shocked at the cost. We didn't have to pay anything up front, and we received the bill on our friend's address like a month later, 350 euros. 2 scans, like I don't know how, like at least 3 or 4 hours he was in the hospital, and we were expecting much more. He was treated properly and the care was all good. Here the good thing is you can go to a lab, you can ask for any kind of blood test, you have your list, they tell you we have it, we don't have it, we let you know. They don't ask you for a medical note. Like they might, but if you don't have one, if you do the same thing in France,
It's Serbia, yeah.
they will look at you like, what? But do you even know what that is? Do you even need to test it? You don't even know that. You don't. It's my body, it's my health. Like, just let me take the blood test. I'm paying you anyway. We find that resistance here in Serbia as well, because that's just how doctors are trained right now, I think. Yeah. But we got help when we need it.
What surprised you the most, except extremely welcoming people?
Rakia is not the answer to everything, despite what some people can believe. But I wouldn't call that a shock, it's just like a funny little thing. The people we actually got along the best with were Serbs. They had this mentality of this straightforwardness, and it's either black or white. This is the way, Toeto, this is the way it is. Okay, cool. At least people are direct and they can state what is, even if they might be wrong or whatever, but you know what to expect.
The best 3 things for you in Serbia?
Way of life, being able to move around and still make our life without having to work for 15 hours a day and just be exhausted all the time. We still have a time to enjoy ourselves. We're not so much of the social birds and going to kafanas and with friends. That's not really our thing, but we appreciate that thing about Serbia. More generally, I would say the mix between the history of Serbia and its geographical position, very, very convenient. It's a hub to go from to 2 different locations very easily. The third thing I would say is there's still this gray area where you can still move in your own way, being in the legality, but without being so strict as to have to report everything. The system is not always working properly, and so you can still have those gray areas where people are like, yeah, they're not hurting anyone. You see kids running around everywhere. It's great. They should be able to do that. They should be able to go from point A to point B without having a chaperone, someone that just falls because he's a kid. It might. In France, you can't do that. Like, there are a lot of problems on that level. Like, security is not what it used to be. You see a lot of pregnant women. I mean, don't see that all the time either, but there's much more of a spirit of, hey, no matter what happened, we're still going to be making babies. We're still going to be having a family, and we're going to have family gatherings, and we're still going to be enjoying our lives. May the bombs fall or whatever. No, we're still going to keep fighting. That's the spirit, I think, that's linking with that family environment that I appreciate about Serbia.
And now the time for the worst. What is the worst for you in Serbia?
Well, it's going to be very cliche, but the smoking. I'm a former cigarette smoker. I managed to stop in 2017, and when we did the first gigs here and I saw all the smoke everywhere, I'm like, you know, I'm not sure if I actually want to go back to that kind of work and being out every weekend in the smoke and smelling like cigarette all the time. That might be one of the little things that I dislike about Serbia. But hey, I get it, freedom is a thing. As much as it's a good thing that to have this gray area and this way of being able to be yourself without the stress, it's also annoying. When you want to get something done, you're not sure whether you're going to be able to get it achieved in the day, in a week, if you're going to have to wait 4 hours, you're going to have to ask another person, oh, this person doesn't speak English and I don't speak Serbian enough. Like, there are a lot of situations like that where you're like, okay, I'm just gonna have to be patient. So that can be a bit stressful at times, but there's not such bad things.
Have you developed any new habits while living here in Serbia?
Yes, more around health. Here you can find little markets where people come with their family business and they made their own honey, they made their own rakia, slanina and everything, and it's great. We got maybe more into the habit of buying locally since we've been here because it's more accessible as well. The pace of life is Polako. I personally need that kind of lifestyle more than maybe other people because I'm more of a stressed out person. The history of the country itself tells a lot, and there is this sort of resilience maybe. There's this idea of, yes, this too shall pass, we will live through that. Like, we've gone through worse. It's kind of an interesting middle ground between the chaos that one can experience in Cambodia or in Asia in general and the structured way of life that we can have in our Western society, especially in France, for example. There is a part of chaos, but still trying to put on some structure, so you're gonna have to fill up the form and you're gonna have to stay in line but outside it's like, First, I'm just gonna show you this station. We don't use it that often, but that's the DJ booth. So if we have musicians that just want to come and practice their skills, or if someone wants to record just an in-house show, I would say you can just easily set up a camera here. You have the mixing board, you have the turntables. We link all of that to the mixer that's behind, and you're good to go. When we arrived here in April 2021, Exit was reopening that year. We got a contact with someone who said, hey, actually, I know someone who's still looking for performers on a small stage at Exit. Would you be willing to give it a try? I'm like, yeah. I got to perform as a DJ over there for 3 months after arriving in Serbia. It was kind of a crazy experience. Usually people bring their own guitars and bass, so we don't have any available right now in the studio, but they're available on demand on our website if you ever need. We have a mixer that's numeric. You can just turn on with your own phone if you want, or from the computer here, so you have all the effects.
Is it difficult to run a business here in Serbia?
If you want to do it all yourself, all by yourself, it is. You will run into paperwork problems and you have to get that paper here and that paper there. Always something will be missing. We took the party of just hiring an accountant and hiring a lawyer. Otherwise, it was pretty easy. We had a situation where we had to open 2 entrepreneurships and then later on a DOO, and those entrepreneurships were like 3 to 5 days they were open. But again, a lawyer is advised and an accountant mostly.
Your impression of France, your views on France, somehow changed after you were living in Serbia?
What I realized after living in 4 or 5 countries is that you meet the same kind of people everywhere. Whatever you put out, as in terms of energy, in terms of the choices you make in your life, you're just going to attract similar kind of people. Living abroad brought me that perspective that my country is not perfect, my culture is far from being perfect, history shows it. Every country is going to have their own little problems. If we go to another country, that will probably be the same because we're all human beings in the end. Cultural differences, differences of color, of food, of whatever, it's not what matters really. This is not what connects us really as human beings.
What do you feel when you travel back to France?
Like the first sensation coming out of the plane would be this morosity. There's no jovial conversations. Like whenever I get out of the plane into the Nikola Tesla airport, you see people talking to each other, like more animation, more life, I would say. So that would be the first feeling like, oh, I'm back in Paris. But I have my little routines where, okay, I have to take the subway, take the train, go back to family, and then I really try to immerse myself in more of a family spirit and enjoying myself over there.
What is the main thing that Serbia taught you?
Patience. When I feel demotivated, I would have maybe a tendency to, I'm not going to go through that, I don't want to do that, let's try to find another way. And Serbia might have this spirit of, no, okay, you got to push through. This is your current mountain, you have to climb it, and this is what it is.
As a French, what do you think about Serbian cuisine and food?
It's okay. But this is not my favorite. It's fine, like I will go to a restaurant and I will have a piskavica or a goulash, like it's fine with me, but it's all right.
What do you miss most from France here?
Cheese.